Today we're looking at the 2013 Nexus 7 tablet, which was a collaboration between Asus and Google, the same as what we saw last year with the 2012 model. We've seen a shift in specifications from Asus and Google using the NVIDIA Tegra 3 SoC to the new Qualcomm, or not new, but Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 Pro SoC. It gives it a bit of an increase in performance, but the biggest increase that we see on the latest tablet is probably the display. We've moved from a 720p display right up to a 1920 by 1200 display, so a little bit higher than full HD. We've got 2 GB of RAM inside the refreshed Nexus 7, a 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera, and a 5 megapixel on the back, but no LED flash, unfortunately. Connectivity-wise, we have Bluetooth 4.0, Wi-Fi A, B, G, and N, as well as NFC. The 2013 Nexus 7 also supports wireless charging, so if you've got a wireless charger, you can just dock it on and it will charge wirelessly, obviously. It's a nice addition. The 16 gig model, which is the base model, Wi-Fi only, is $229. It's pretty good value for money when you compare it to something like the iPad mini, which only has a 1024 by 768 display, which is nowhere near as good as this. And the iPad is probably going to cost, or iPad mini is probably going to cost you at least $120, $130 more at a decent retailer. We're going to have a quick look at the slim port adapter and how well it works with the Nexus 7 model. The slim port adapter we've reviewed previously. It's from Analogic Semiconductor. It's just a tiny little micro USB port cable that plugs into the bottom of the tablet or any compatible slim port device, and goes into a full HDMI port. So I've got a Samsung 2012 smart TV sitting behind me. I'm going to plug the cable into the bottom of the Nexus 7, and then I'm going to plug in a HDMI cable into the slim port connector. So it's pretty simple. It does add a little bit of weight to it, but that will depend on which cable that you're actually using, but it doesn't add too much. It's easy enough to actually use. And then you'll just have to select your input on the TV. So obviously I've got mine hooked up to HDMI 2. See there? Full connection within a couple of seconds. It's as simple as that. There's no drivers, there's no software, there's no application that you need. It's just plug and play. When I reviewed this previously, I absolutely loved it. I'm still in love with it to this day. It's really good if you've got family over or friends and you want to show them a quick video or some pictures that you've taken on your device, especially with a tablet like this, because you've got a decent sized screen, but it's obviously a lot better on a bigger screen. But as you can see there's not much lag at all. It's a microsecond compared to the cheaper cables where you can actually feel it. So you can see that my finger is obviously moving across, and there's not much lag at all there. Most applications open up really well in it. Obviously with the TV you're going to be looking at it in landscape and not portrait, so if you're watching, or not watching, but if you're looking at a web page, it'll come out a bit skewed, it won't look as good. We'll just quickly go in and have a look at the TweetSound website. As you can see, sound passes straight through HDMI. There's no lag at all. You can scroll up and down the website, but obviously if you go to portrait you'll get the black bars on the side. But it's quite nice. The zooming works fine if you're on a website that can do that. I'll quickly check out a game while we're here. This is a game I've been a little bit obsessed with for the last couple of days. I don't know why, but it's Monster Shooter 2. So a quick As you can see, the graphics are beautiful on the screen, amazing colours. The sound passes right through. I've got some Logitech Z2300 speakers that I purchased years and years ago now. Plugged up to the TV and that sounds fine. So if you go straight into the game, just quickly show the game. Nexus 7 loads things pretty quickly. It's only a couple of seconds to get into most games. Applications load instantaneously. Just turn that down because it's pretty loud. And I'm dead. I'll quickly reload that map just to show you how nice it is to actually play games. So as you can see there's no lag. It's actually pretty good playing a game up on the 55-inch TV. And because a game like this, you're not really looking at the screen, you can just have your fingers in the bottom left and right, and you can actually just play the game without having to look back at the tablet constantly. Obviously I'm looking at the tablet now because I don't want to be looking behind me the whole time. But it's a really good way to be playing around with the cable. And it goes to show the kind of technology that Analogics have put into the SlimPort cable. I'm still to this day, I'm a big tech head, and I'm still absolutely blown away that a tiny little cable from a company can do this. So I've tested a few other cables from their competitors, and they just don't do anywhere near the same type of job. Sure, they'll connect up and they'll work. They'll display 1080p without a problem, or 1200p with a couple of black bars that you can see on the side there. But you get lag. You've got latency. You can feel it when you're scrolling across like that. You can actually feel the lag on the display, which is not good at all. We'll just quickly show a couple of other applications. So Spotify, of course, opens up perfectly. You can go straight into Spotify and it will actually load up the pictures. So you can keep it there and just have it cranked up onto the TV, and it will display the pictures once it's loaded from our Wi-Fi. There we go. It's actually quite nice to pump out straight to the TV. It's really good. Just finishing off with the Nexus 7. So obviously we have the 7.02 inch display. It's a little bit over 7 inch, 1920 by 1200 IPS panel. So it's very high quality. The way that Android works with the pixel density in the display is it actually gives you more space. So normally you see that bottom icon there is Spotify. That would Google Plus Play Plus Music. It would actually take up much more room. The icons, you wouldn't get as many icons on the screen. So Android actually works very well with high pixel displays. So it actually gives you more room to work with. You don't get any more home buttons, but you actually get more room on the home screen to play with. Websites obviously scale really well depending on the website, obviously, if they're built for high resolution displays. But it actually works overall really well. I've used a couple of Android tablets now, and the Nexus 7, the 2013 model, is definitely probably the best that I've ever used. The display is unmatchable in its class in 7 inch. The iPad mini just doesn't compete. The iPad mini, sure, it feels great in the hand, but the display is really lacking, especially in this Retina class that we have from Apple today. Asus have done a really good job with the actual feel of the tablet itself as well. The feel is quite good. The button placement is a bit off. They've got the power button and the volume buttons on the right side instead of the left side now. But the addition of the 5 megapixel camera is really good. Not that I take pictures with the tablet all the time, but it's nice to at least have it there in case you're out and about and you want to take a picture. Overall, I think this is, like I said before, probably one of the best tablets that I've used. It's nice and light. The screen is absolutely gorgeous to look at. The colors are crisp. The text is perfectly clear. It's fast. I find going in and out of apps is blazingly fast. You get in and out of apps without a problem. And there's just no slowdown whatsoever. I found that I actually use this quite a bit. I actually, for probably the first week and a half of testing, I used it as a replacement to my, at the time, Galaxy S4 that I was reviewing, which we have a review coming up shortly on. And then I switched back to my Nexus 4. And going from the full HD display of the Galaxy S4 to the 720p display of the Nexus 4 hurt quite a bit. You really miss those pixels, you don't really notice it until you do it. And then moving to this really changed. It was at a time where I could actually use it as an everyday device versus having just a tablet that I have on my lounge or on my coffee table and I'll pick up and use when I'm near it. Where this is almost small enough to keep in your pocket or keep in a bag and then pull it out and use it and just tether your device to it. The LTE 4G models are just starting to arrive around the world now, so you can actually get an LTE model if you want to have an extra SIM card. I'm not that type of person. I'd rather just have one SIM, one device and tether, but Google and Asus are releasing models like that. We hope you liked a bit of a video review we've done here today. I really think that if you're going to get this device, you should definitely go for the SlimPort cable. If you're going to be outputting videos and images to a TV, or if you want to show it off to family or anything like that, because doing stuff like this, when you actually have the tablet there, you can actually take pictures and just have them display straight up onto the TV which is it's a really nice way of displaying things. So there's some of the video tests that we actually took for the purpose of this review. I'll just quickly play it back. So you can see there it's just instant, there's no lag, it just plays it without a problem, straight from the camera, straight into the device, slid port straight to the TV. It's really quick, really simple, really easy. If you're in the market for a new tablet, $229 for a Nexus 7 is amazing right now. It's a little bit more expensive if you're outside of the United States. You're probably looking at about an extra $20, $30, $40 outside of the United States, like Australia or Europe. But it's pretty much unmatched at that price. There's no competitor right now that's coming close to this with a full HD, over full HD display, a fast SoC inside, and then you've got just pure Android experience. There's no overlay with another software user interface. There's no Sense UI, there's no Samsung UI on top, it's just Android. $229 for a 16 gig Wi-Fi model. Run out and grab one now.